Title: Beneath the Moonlit Waters. Chapter 1: The Edge of Silence. The forest was quiet that night. Too quiet. Not the kind of quiet that offered peace, but the kind that whispered a storm was coming. The kind that curled around your skin like cold breath and made the world feel forgotten. Evan stepped through the moss-covered trees, his shoes soaked from the dew. The moonlight was bright tonight, so bright, it painted the whole lake silver. It might have been beautiful once, but not to him. Not anymore. He stood at the edge of the cliff that hung over the lake like a secret no one wanted to talk about. The drop wasn't high, but it was deep. Deep enough that if someone fell, they wouldn't come back. Evan had traced this path before, 1,000 times in his mind. He had planned it, rehearsed it. The way someone might prepare for a speech. Only this was his last one. The world had stopped making sense months ago. His father was gone, a car crash that shattered his mother into a husk of a woman who stared through windows as if she could bring him back. His friends had moved on. Some drifted, others disappeared. He tried to speak once or twice about the aching, the hollow inside him, but people either blinked it away with "you'll be fine" or tightened with discomfort. They didn't want to hear. No one really wanted to hear someone say, "I don't think I can keep going." So Evan had stopped trying. The lake was the only place that still listened. The only place where he didn't have to wear a mask. He would sit by the edge for hours, watching the moonlight ripple, whispering to himself. And now he stood at the edge. The final moment. He slipped off his jacket. The air stung his bare chest. His hands trembled, but not from cold. From the fear of peace. Or the hope of it. He closed his eyes. "I'm sorry," he whispered, to no one and everyone. And stepped forward. The cold was sudden, like knives. The water didn't welcome him. It swallowed him. Pulled at his arms, wrapped around his ankles like chains. He didn't fight. He didn't even breathe. But then, a hand. Warm. Alive. And something else, a sound? A voice? He opened his eyes, but the water was too dark. Then light. A flicker. And eyes. Silver blue, glowing like stars beneath the surface. Lips touched his, not in romance, but in life. Breath poured into his lungs. Not air, something more ancient. More powerful. When Evan gasped, he was no longer sinking. He was rising. He choked on air, gasping like a newborn pulled from the womb of grief. The moon burned above him, blinding, and the water glowed, as if the lake had awoken. And there she was. A girl, no, not a girl. A creature of the lake, shimmering like pearls and sorrow. Her long hair floated like shadows behind her. Scales ran across her shoulders, bioluminescent and gold. Her eyes glistened with tears and something else. Rage. Relief. Compassion. "You wanted to die," she said. He blinked. Her voice was melodic, but steady. "You wanted to leave, without saying goodbye to the world." He couldn't answer. His lips trembled, heart slamming inside his chest. "I heard you," she whispered. For nights. Talking to the lake. Evan felt the weight in his throat return. His voice broke. "I didn't think anyone listened." She pressed a hand to his chest, where his heart beat fast and uneven. "I listened." She pulled him toward the shallow bank, moonlight wrapping them in silver. Her fingers trailed his skin as if memorizing the pain embedded in it. He whispered, Who are you?" "I don't know anymore," she said, brushing a wet lock from his forehead. "But once I was a song. A memory of something beautiful. The lake gave me form. Maybe to save you. Maybe to remind someone that even lost things can be found." Tears spilled from his eyes. He didn't know why. Maybe it was her warmth. Maybe it was the way her presence unraveled something inside him, something he had locked away for so long it forgot how to breathe. "I was ready to go," he said, voice cracking. She nodded, softly. "And yet you're still here." They sat there, the mermaid and the broken boy, wrapped in fireflies and night. The forest no longer felt empty. The lake no longer silent. And for the first time in months, Evan felt something he thought was long gone. Not happiness, but the beginning of hope. To be continued in Chapter 2. Would you like me to continue with Chapter 2 now? Absolutely. Here's Chapter 2 of Beneath the Moonlit Waters. Chapter 2, The Song of the Forgotten. Evan didn't sleep that night. He couldn't. His skin still carried her warmth, her touch. His ears still echoed with her voice, the way she said, "I listened." He lay curled on the soft moss by the water's edge, his body dry now, but not his heart. That still swam in confusion, in questions, in something that felt like aching wonder. And she was still there, floating just beneath the moonlit ripples, her glowing tail curling through the water like poetry in motion. Every few moments, her eyes would rise above the surface, watching him, as if she was afraid he'd vanish, as if she had more to lose than he did. At some point, Evan finally spoke again. "I don't even know your name." She emerged, water falling like silk off her skin. She rested her arms on a rock, hair dripping, face tilted toward the stars. "I don't think I have one anymore," she said quietly. "It's been a long time." "How long?" She paused, as though counting years was like trying to catch rain. "I don't remember the world before water. I only remember pain. Drowning in it." Evan's breath caught. "Someone left me," she said, her voice almost a whisper. "A long, long time ago. On this very shore. Said he'd come back. I waited. For years. Until I stopped being a girl and became something else." "Someone you loved?" he asked. "I think so," she said. "But memories fade when you hold them alone for too long. Eventually, all that's left is the ache." The ache. That, he understood. They sat together until the stars began to fade. Her hand brushed against his as if testing something. "Why did you want to die?" she asked, so softly it was almost lost to the breeze. Evan clenched his jaw. He wanted to lie. Say something poetic. Something distant. But her eyes pulled the truth out of him. "Because I didn't think I mattered," he said. "Because every day felt heavier than the last. Because people told me to be strong, but never asked if I had the strength left to try." She closed her eyes. "You did matter. You do." "To who?" "To me." His heart cracked. Tears slid down his face before he could stop them. No one had said those words to him, not with such rawness. Not like she meant it. "I don't even know you," he said, choking. "You don't have to know someone long to feel something real," she said. He looked at her, glowing in the silver of dawn. She was unreal. Impossible. And yet, the only thing that felt true. Days passed. Or maybe it was only hours, stretched long by the magic of the lake. Evan returned every night. Sometimes he brought stories. Sometimes silence. She brought memories, songs in languages he didn't know, laughter like wind. He never asked what she was. She never asked why he stayed. They just were. Two broken things. Two forgotten souls. And slowly, Evan's darkness began to shift. Not disappear, but change. Like ice melting in spring. One night, she asked, "If I gave you my heart, would you stay?" His breath caught. "What do you mean?" She smiled sadly. "I can give it to the water. Or I can give it to you. But I can't keep it anymore. It's too heavy." "You deserve to keep it," he said. "No one's ever said that to me before." She leaned in, fingers brushing his cheek. "Evan, do you want to live?" He looked into her eyes. And for the first time, the answer was yes. "Yes," he whispered. "I want to live." She kissed him. Not with hunger, but with healing. And the lake rippled with light as if something ancient had been released. The next morning, he woke alone. The rock where she rested was empty. The waters still. Her name, the one she never gave him, was a hollow in his chest. He called for her. Again and again. But only the breeze answered. Weeks passed. Evan began to speak again. To his mother. To his classmates. To life. He cried sometimes. But he breathed through it. He returned to the lake each night. Hoped. Until one night, a note floated on the water, made of scales and light. "You chose life. That means I did too. And that is enough. I will always listen. Your song." Evan fell to his knees. And smiled through tears. The end.
Thanks for watching. Love you all. Please like, comment and share.